New video time! Guys, I am Yard Offside FM, and it is very nice to see you again. This is episode 6 of The Triumph, my Football Manager 2017 Let's Play series as Hell's Teeth FC in the Tuvaluan A Division. So thanks for coming back for episode 6, guys. The first thing I want to show you is right here on this opening club screen. We have switched over to the Loyal Personality, and if you've been following over with the series, guys, you'll know that in the last episodes I've been lamenting the existence of our previously ambitious squad personality, which I felt was causing all sorts of problems with player discontent at the level of training, etc., etc. Well, we have switched over to Loyal, and there's a number of reasons that has happened, and we'll talk about all of them as we get into this episode. But that is the first thing I wanted to point out. So the transfer window has ended. It is the 28th of September 2016. Transfer window's been shut for about a month, and I do want to just show you guys what happened right at the end of the window. We didn't bring any more players in, as I said we probably would not. But we did have a few departures, and the first one was one that I actually forgot about in the most recent episode. Alapua Lipua had left by that time, but I just forgot to mention it. He left at the end of July. Or was it the end of June? Was it even sooner? No, it was the end of July. Hame and Mimi picked him up on a free. And boy, looking at his stats now, looking at his attributes, I do kind of look at him and think, why did I let him go? I mean, there wasn't much that I could do. As I have mentioned in previous episodes, guys, this is the amateur level. You know, transfers basically work as a team comes in with a contract, says, hey, do you want to come over here? We'll give you this squad status. When Hame and Mimi came in for him, I didn't really bother to think, all right, let's stop Lupua from going. I was more or less happy to see the back of him, but oh well. Seller's remorse, I guess, in a little bit of a sense. But Katepu Fakasega's been doing okay in replacing Lipua since, so that's how it goes. And I did mention these three transfers here. We released Ofati, Okalani, and Sio. And then on transfer deadline day, we did send Tailolo Moeaga packing, this free kick specialist, so-called. Has been a huge disappointment at our club at Hell's Teeth, and so Manu Laiva came in for him right on deadline day. And they've taken him off our hands. We're happy to let him go. Now, as I mentioned, guys, we were planning on allowing Joshua Valuaga to leave the club on a free to go somewhere else. In the end, nobody decided to pick him up, probably because he's a bag of shit. But that's none of my business. So in the end, nobody came for him, and I did have to trim the side down so that we could meet that very restrictive 22-player A division squad limit, and I thought, we don't need 3 goalkeepers, do we? So I've cut Joshua Valuaga. And another reason for that is that Regen Day has happened, and I will discuss that with you guys in a bit. You can see a great number of these regens here, because as you know, most of the regens you get thrown at you at the start on Regen Day are completely terrible, and so they've been released. We're not really going to talk about them, but I will discuss Regen Day overall here. Let's see, let's go over to the world screen. Everybody has different ways of sort of approaching Regen Day, and I think it's really interesting listening to the way that people kind of look at things on Regen Day in their respective countries. And this is a tactic that I think most people are familiar with, which is to go to the World tab, then go to Transfers and look at Youth Intake. I already have this loaded up here. So you can see all of these Tuvaluan clubs here have had their Regen Day. I have gone through just searching for different attributes that I like to see: work rate, determination, other such things. And I've done some. I'm getting some scout reports on a number of the players who have genned in at other clubs. Most of them look pretty terrible. Frankly, most of our players look pretty terrible. We did get, I think, 15 or 16 players come in. And so I kind of had to make some decisions about, all right, you know, we can't keep all these people. There's no way, especially without a reserve or U21 team. A lot of these guys are going to have to go. But I did have a bit of a stroke of genius, and we'll segue perfectly into what's happened since you last joined us, guys. So last time you saw a game from this save was this Nauti match here in the A division. We won 2-0. We then had our Christmas Cup first round match, defeated Pioneer, moving on to the quarterfinal. And the quarterfinal is what we're going to be seeing today, guys. We've been drawn against Nauti, so we were playing Nauti in a live com twice. Looks like this is kind of a developing rivalry here between Hell's Teeth and Nauti. Lots of different matches across lots of different competitions. And as you can see, we haven't uniformly won all of them, because after the Pioneer game we took on Nauti in the Independence Cup, we lost 1-0 and were thusly eliminated from the competition. However, this turned out to be a bit of a blessing in disguise, guys. By the way, we drew against Hame and Mimi. Once again, Hame and Mimi, we were heading towards the full 3 points, as we had been in that previous match earlier in the season against Hame and Mimi. And what did they do? Another stoppage time goal to take a draw from the contest. Really, Hame and Mimi becoming a bogey team for us, but that's something for another day to discuss. At any rate, this match against Tuvalu ended up being meaningless, and this being right after Regen Day, I thought, hold on a second, this is a golden opportunity. So I thought, you know what, it's not a meaningful game. Let's create a squad entirely out of players from the Regen team. Actually, a few of them I think were not Regens, but we don't have to discuss that. Most of them were. So, and because I hadn't put in any squad restrictions for the Independence Cup, we just said, all right, let's throw all these guys out there, and it'll be on audition for them. And what I ended up doing was I just took the guys with the best match rating from this game against Tuvalu, which, by the way, this team of 16-year-olds got a draw against Tuvalu, the class of the A Division, who were not exactly fielding a weakened team themselves. So for them to get a 0-0 draw, we can just come over here to show you the match performance screen. Supporter spokesperson Mafoa Samaya feels the fans are happy with the result against Tuvalu, especially considering that a weakened team was fielded. And I agree with the fans. It was a great result for the young kids to get on the day. Meaningless game, but they collected a 0-0 draw. And did that mean that Tuvalu were knocked out of the competition? No, they did still go through. Lacania United and Tuvalu will be in the Independence Cup final. But at any rate, back over here, I decided, all right, the 5 best players from this team here against Tuvalu, we'll let them stay, and we will not cut them. And so I'll show you those guys. The first one is the one who's rated the highest, Mayama Moeaga. Lots of Moeagas in our team. He is a goalkeeper. My assistant's pretty optimistic about him, and as you can see, he does have a number of okay goalkeeping technicals, if you want to call this category that, and good natural fitness. So, I mean, it does look like he might be a pretty good player. You know, certainly somebody to keep an eye on, and again, one of the reasons that we decided we don't need Valawaga lying around with this good 16-year-old goalkeeper kind of waiting in the wings. The next one down here is Ololofa Sio. He's can play in a number of different positions, even though his attributes are really kind of pants. But his versatility and his ability to play in a number of different places make him really useful. I've gone over a few of these. He's pretty good as a box-to-box midfielder. You can see that really takes advantage of some of his good statistics and decisions and work rate, natural fitness, etc. But he's also quite useful out on the wing, for instance, as an inside forward. Again, takes advantage of his decisions, acceleration, and he, you know, at inside forward, his dribbling and passing and technique would let him down, but we can train all of those, so that's something that's pretty good to see. He's probably going to be terrible, but, you know, again, there's just good to have people with upside in here. Now, Samaya Vailele, pretty limited player in a lot of ways. He can only play in one position. Aside from having some decent physicals, he's really terrible. But, you know, at the winger support role, he basically does the simple things. He can run and it can accelerate, basically. He's quick, and that's pretty useful as in a limited winger sort of role. So it's useful keeping him around. You know, who knows, maybe we can improve some of his technicals. Now, Fakatuafe is a sort of player who can play in the middle. I have sort of had a look at him, and he might be useful if we go over to the attribute screen. He also might be useful as a winger, guys. As you can see, his crossing and his technique are absolutely horrendous, but, you know, he's got some decent physicals. He's quite quick himself, although I don't know if we need to be bringing any more wingers, you know, with these two regens, Sio and Vailele, already being able to play there. We'll probably just kind of develop him as a midfielder, but he looks okay. The regen I'm most excited about, though, is Tito Tui, who is a center back. He can play in a few other places on the pitch as well. His physicals are really pretty terrible, guys, and that is concerning. But as you can see, I've highlighted the central defender stopper role, where really only jumping reach is a critically important attribute. Strength, you know, kind of lets him down a little bit, but that's listed as a sort of secondary attribute. As you can see, he does have a number of really good mentals, and under the stopper role, all of those high mentals are considered very important. So I think this guy is a brilliant player. I mean, having a guy come in with already having these important high mentals, really kind of makes him a huge developing prospect, and my assistant agrees that, you know, he could improve a lot in the future, especially when you look at where he really needs to improve his game. It's in the technicals, and as you guys know, technicals are the easiest sort of category of attributes to train. So, you know, get him on a regimen of heading and tackling. I think this guy could be an excellent center back in the future. And tell you what, I wonder if we can't tutor him. We do have a number of people who could tutor him. He's a balanced personality. Let's see who's our oldest center back. Eti, but his personality doesn't match. So maybe Tapukau Jr. Let's see if Tapukau Jr. is willing to tutor Eti. This actually would be fantastic. I'd like you to take him under your wing on and off the field. Oh, this is looking promising. I don't see any reason why not. I'll just invite him into the room. I think your game will improve by learning from Felifu Tapukau Jr. Excellent, and they've both agreed to it. Fantastic. So Tui now looking even more of a developing talent now that Tapukau has taken him under his wing. I only just thought of that on the spot, guys. It's the creative power of the live comm. I think that's really all I wanted to talk about, guys. We are taking on Nauti, and this is a cup match, which could mean that it probably will go to penalties. Every single time I play a cup match in FM, it always seems to go to penalties. I don't know, guys. But that is all I really wanted to talk about. So having already sorted out my team for the day, let's get into the match. Again, we are taking on Nauti. Second live comm in a row, we'll be taking on Nauti. The last match we played against them was in the Independence Cup. As I mentioned, we did lose that match. But hopefully we can bounce back. As you can see, 3 matches have been played over the history between these two teams, and it's a win for us, a win for them, and a draw. So pretty even, about as even as you can get. The pitch is terrible at Tuvalu Sports Ground, but it's a very nice day, as you can see. About 20 degrees Celsius, 71 Fahrenheit, and 430 tickets. That's pretty good. Again, looking like this is developing into a real rivalry. Let's have a look at our team. As usual, Tapase will remain in goal. He's really established himself as the best goalkeeper in our squad, a vast improvement over Valawaga. Tapagao Jr., Eti, and Silao make up the 3-man back line as usual. Tini Lau has kept his place, although his form has declined drastically. I've thought a lot about bringing in one of our other right-sided players, but they just don't seem to impress me that much. And my assistant, I keep doing quick pick for this single position, and my assistant keeps saying, yeah, just stick with Tini Lau, and I'm inclined to just agree. Pearson and Fakasega in the midfield, Aliu on the left side, and then Lapayo and Taumafai Tui in attack. We have had to bring in Talavalu Katagali at the target man position because Samaya Moeaga, suffering a stub toe, he got that against Hameamimi in the most recent match. He did clear his fitness test, was given a green light for 45 minutes of action, but I know FM, and I know that if you try to use an injured player, it's just usually they just end up being more of a liability than anything, and we're not even going to bother with that. Hell's Teeth have enough quality to see up Nauti today, and there could be a few goals on show. We are the favorites with the bookies as well, as I mentioned in the last episode. That's not always a good thing. Seems like FM is always trying to invert these sort of situations. All eyes will be on Taumafai Tui and Toluona Kamtaura as a supremely talented forward sets his sights on one of the better goalkeepers around. All right, well, we'll see if Tui can do it. He is in very, very good form. He's continued his scoring Well, I don't necessarily want to call it a streak, but he is still continuing his season-long excellent form and has really kind of developed into our most reliable goal scorer with the injury problems that have surrounded Samaya Moeaga. We'll go right through the opposition instructions, and let's see what we want to do for the team talk. I can't remember what I used in the last match. We could go for the revenge option. I like that. Let's do that. I know many of you will be anxious to avenge what happened when the last time we played Nauti. Good, they're looking motivated. I didn't check to see how strict the goalkeeper was for this match, so that might be a little bit of an issue, but... Alright, everybody looking very happy, very motivated. Hopefully we can kick on here and get a good result. Ball goes back to Tapase as we start things off. Silao looking for the long ball. That doesn't pan out. Eti cuts it out, though. I thought maybe there was going to be a highlight from kickoff. That was a little worrying. Valoa, Silao stops that. He needs to get rid of it. He has. And Tui will collect this. Well done. That's some good work right there. Oh, has he found Katagali over the top? Go on, Katagali. Oh, he's pulled it up. Is that a corner kick, though? No, it's just a very terrible shot. That was a shame. Katagali, again, I think he did that in the most recent live comm, too. Elius, put that on target. Tui! Oh, I thought maybe he could have taken it first time, but he's been fouled out on the right wing. Looks like there will be no sanction from the referee. Eliu. Ooh, he had Salau on the near post. But he will collect possession. Fakasega. Eti. Eliu. Fakasega. It looked like Eliu was trying to work it onto his stronger foot. Couldn't do it. Tui loses possession. Ideally, Tapagawa will get to this. He does. It was a little unnerving on that header, but Fakasega recycles possession. Not too much action as we reach the 16-minute mark here in this game. Eliu! Oh! Silao from the corner kick. That was a perfect opportunity for a good set-piece goal. But Silao has skied it. He must have been 3 yards away. It was easier to score than it was to miss. Tini Lau wins that header out on the right wing. Tamafai Tui. Tini Lau. Fakasega. Long ball. Will Tui get to this? He will. Look at that terrible pitch slowing the ball down. Katagali should score and does. We are 1-0 up here in the Christmas Cup quarterfinal. Katagali putting us out in front. And it looks like it was a good decision to rest Samaya Moeaga as Katagali has seized his chance and put us ahead. Tui doing very well. I mean, showing excellent, excellent work rate. And Katagali, a very short player, as I'm seeing now in the 3D match engine, which is probably why he requested to be given number 10 and rather than number 9 at the start of the year. But he certainly rose for that header. It was a very good ball from Tui. And we have another highlight here. Lapayo. Ooh. Probably a bit too far out to really genuinely trouble the Nauti goalkeeper, but in the end it looked like the Nauti goalkeeper was at full stretch, and they have equalized here. Looks like Tofikai Stanley, if I remember his name correctly. At any rate, we've conceded from a set piece here. Tupe whipping the ball in, and really he's just been kept onside. I don't have use offside trap ticked, so a little frustrating that they didn't track back for that, but it is 1-1, and the penalty shootout looms once again. It's probably a little early to be complaining about penalty shootouts, but I know FM, guys, and I know what FM has in store. Tui. Luckily, Salau gets to that. That was a dangerous situation. Tui loses out in that header. Luckily, Tapugao Jr. steps forward to cut that out. Using his stopper role to great effect. Valoa. We need to get people back here. Leva. That's a terrible, terrible shot. Really over-optimistic. Who's never going to beat Tapase from there. Let's make that change. Fakasega on the ball. Could we have a highlight? Eliu. Elio has to play it back to Salau, who launches it long, finds Lapayo. Katagali, Tui looks like he's on side. He is. And he puts us 2-1 up. Talmafai Tui continues his brilliant scoring run, and we are a goal to the good here against Nauti once more. Good time to score as well, 42nd minute. Excellent first touch from Tui there, and he just toe pokes it to the right of the goalkeeper. That is a true striker's finish. Just an instinctive little toe poke, put that in the corner. Great work, and both Tui and Katagali have a goal and an assist. I think we're playing pretty well here. Glad to see nobody is looking too nervous. That was kind of an issue back in August and September and early September, but it looks like we've remedied that situation. Don't see any reason to make any substitutions at this time. Obviously conceding that goal from a set piece, mildly concerning, but you know, set pieces are dangerous. That's the reason teams train for them. For the fans, we've got to guard against complacency now. Hopefully they respond well to that, and they have. Very good. Okay, boys. I do plan on bringing on Tito Tui in the second half. I do want to give him as much match time as possible. As I mentioned, guys, there's no U21 league in Tuvalu. There is in real life a reserve league, but I was concerned about the number of fixtures that would create at the single stadium in Tuvalu, so I just decided, you know what, we're not going to even bother with a reserve league. It's gonna hurt the development of regen significantly, but just with only one stadium, I didn't see how it was going to be possible. It's allowed as well to cut that out. Another one of their guys is finding too much space inside the area. We'll shut him down. Tapagao Jr. takes that free kick, and oh, that is a dreadful error. Dreadful error, and Silao did not get back in time for it, but Tapase has saved our bacon. With a great save and really a one-on-one situation. Eti clears that corner away. This should be the end of the highlight. It's not. Worrying. And it was the end of the highlight. We have another one for us right away. Tini Lau has the ball here. Pearson, who's been very quiet today. Lapayo had a lot of space. Can't blame him for shooting there because he wasn't really closed down, but he was too far out to really put a decent shot on target. Let's make these changes. Go forward a little bit, and then we're going to do our substitution here, guys. I think maybe this is a good opportunity to bring on Tito Tui, give him a half an hour's worth of match time. Who is looking the least fit of our center backs? They're all about the same, but Tapugao Jr. only on a 6.2, which is atrocious. So let's get him off before he does anything worse. And Tito Tui, who performed so well in the Independence Cup against Tofaga in that 0-0 draw, we're going to give him some time here and see if he can continue his good form. A lot at stake here, obviously. This is the only competition that we really, well, let's tell him there's no pressure, and he looks relaxed. That's awesome. You know, this is really the only competition that we're alive in still, and I'd really like for us to make a deep run in the Christmas Cup. But I also have to weigh that against the need to give our regens match time. It is a risk, but it's one worth taking, I'm hoping. Aliu, oh, I thought that was going in. I thought that was going to dip underneath the bar, but it has gone over. It was very close from Aliu. And we have a throw in here, it looks like. Tini Lau and Katagali exchanging passes. Fakasega, Tui, should look for someone ahead of him. Instead, goes back to Fakasega. Tini Lau, Fakasega. Sprays that out wide for Aliu, who's got lots of space. Aliu's going to have to play it back. Finds Fakasega. Pearson. Lapayo. Tui, Katagali, oh dear. Katagali loses it and they have a breakaway. Nauti missed a gilt-edged chance. Wow. Valoa has absolutely made a horrendous mess of that, and Tapase is thanking his lucky stars that Nauti can't finish today. At some point here, I'm going to probably look to waste a little bit more time and go defensive, but I think it's much too early to try and do that at this point. It looks like Pearson's getting a little low on fitness. I know. Let's bring on Filioma because he's pretty good as a ball-winning midfielder, if I remember correctly. My assistant doesn't agree, but having looked at his statistics at the start of the year, here we can even just bring them up briefly right now. He's pretty good as a ball-winning midfielder, and you know, if you're an experienced FM player, you know, don't always trust your assistant, especially at this low level. Like, here, we have to switch him over to central. Especially at this low level like Tuvalu, your assistant is not going to, you know, make a lot of great decisions. Obviously, his physical's letting him down a little bit, but 14 teamwork, 16 bravery, okay work rate, okay aggression, 10 positioning, although that's not a primary attribute for the position. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's good enough to do the job. And I think my assistant's assessment of him being that poor at ball-winning midfielder is a little unfair. So we're going to use Filioma. He's going to come in for the captain, Pearson. Fakasega will take the captain's armband. Just no pressure. Try not to mess anything up. Everybody keep calm. We just need to hang on to this 1-goal lead. Tapase, goal kick. Katagali, wow, he's clear. And once again, Katagali is pulled up. That's the third time in the last 2 live comms he's done that. Just pulled up and tried to work out his chance. He is on the target man support role, so I can't blame him, really. I guess that's what he's been instructed to do. But really, he needs to be a poacher and just run at the defense. Get in there, try and break that offside trap. And it looks like they're going to have a chance from the right wing here. That has been kept in play. Good ball into the center, Tiute. We're defending well at the moment, but anything could go wrong in a moment here. Filioma clears that away. Well done from the substitute. Silao. And it looks like that has been cut out at the last second by Tito Tui, the substitute. We should check his match rating, see how well he's doing. 6.7 so far. He's only been on for, you know, 12. Oh, he's been on for 18 minutes now or so. Doing okay. Doing okay on a 6.7. No major errors. We should hold off on our final substitution. I was strongly considering using it, but at this point, I think... is it too early to do waste time? Yeah, it probably is. Okay. Let's just push this forward a little further. Now we're going to switch on waste time. We're going to use our final substitute. Actually, let's hold off on the final substitution until... we are in stoppage time. Let's switch to lower tempo. Let's waste time and just try and kill this game off here, guys. Confirm changes. On the cusp of reaching the semi-final of the Christmas Cup here and knocking out Nauti, I believe we'll take on Lacania United if we go through. If. Big if. And Tapase has absolutely come good once again, saving that shot from point-blank range, and he's collected that cross. That is well done. Such a refreshing change to see a goalkeeper really defending for his life, and defending our team's position. That's great work from him. He's on a 7.3 for the game. That's pretty good. It seems like goalkeepers' ratings are a little overcooked in this edition of FM. They'll commit a lot of errors and still get decent match ratings, but really he's deserving of that 7.3 today, I think. Can't really be held at fault for the Nauti goal. I don't think it really matters who we bring on at this stage in the match. I suppose let's just bring on Tui. He's another developing player who needs a little bit of match time. It's not much, but we'll just give it to him and let him sort of savor the moment. All right, 90 seconds left here. Come on, Hell's Teeth. Eti, Lutelu Tui, the new substitute, Talmafai Tui, Fakasega. 3 Tuis on the pitch right now, I've just realized. Filioma had a chance to find Lapayo. Katagali, oh, should have gotten himself a brace there, but the goalkeeper has saved it. We're deep into stoppage time now. Elia will whip this in. It's been cleared, and we are through. 2-1 to Hell's Teeth, getting a result against Nauti. Like I say, great developing rivalry here. And we're into the semifinal. Great stuff. Very, very pleasing to see. I'm happy with how the boys performed. Shall I give thee? That was a very good performance. It worked in the last live com, didn't it, guys? Let's do it. And it's gotten some players to gain focus. A few others have seemed demotivated. I'm willing to take that. That's all right, as long as nobody switches off. Really, the much better team, as you can see here, guys. We dominated possession, had more shots, same number of shots on target. But Tapasay came really good for those shots that Nauti did manage to muster on target. Great result. Tui named man of the match, a goal and an assist for him. He's just been spectacular for us this year. And I'm so glad that he decided to stay with the club. Oh, that's actually something I forgot to mention, guys. As I had mentioned at the end of the last episode, we had offers coming in for Tui, and we had offers coming in for Lepayo. We actually had a last-minute offer come in for Samaya Moeaga and one for Tofikai Pearson as well. All four of those critical players for us decided that they wanted to stay with Hell's Teeth, and really showed that we deserve that loyal squad personality changeover, as you can see right there, guys. So a delightful result. That's the third live comm in a row. We've gotten a victory. We are through to the semifinal. That's right. I did want to bring up and just look at the Christmas Cup to see what's going on over here. One quarterfinal match is still to be played from between Niu Tao and Tamanuku. Wow, that's a match of two minnows right there, in my opinion. But the winner of that will be taking on the excellent Nui, who have to be favorites for this competition since Tofaga were knocked out pretty early. We'll be taking on Leucadia United. That's a semifinal that is eminently winnable for us. So let's take a look at the fixture list and see when that game will be. That's coming up only 2 matches away. I'm not sure we'll be doing that one, guys. Maybe. I'll think about it. I'll think about it if I decide that it's really, really important and is going to be a really fun match. Maybe we'll do that as the next live comm. But that's it for today, guys. Please like, please subscribe, and please come back for episode 7 of The Triumph.